I look at this thing and go, what the heck? Oh, where should I start? Well, this is somebody. This is somebody's view on The Shining. As a matter of fact, this is somebody's view on a theory of The Shining. The theory is based on Wendy hallucinating the entire movie, or at least the bad stuff. And the whole entire movie was basically her doing horrible things. But, you know, it's not too far-fetched. It doesn't leave a satisfying ending to me for if it's Wendy, but at the same time, I think there are some interesting points here. So anyway, this guy's trying to debunk this theory like it matters, but that got me heated. And I just want to see some of the things that he saw, because man, this is a good freaking movie to analyze. But I don't know, like if you do have a thing against this theory, I think it needs to be presented better, or just let it go. Let people be happy with the way they view this shit. But I'm not gonna let you be happy because you wouldn't let them be happy. So let's get into the Wendy theory and this person's idea of how bad that theory is. Anyway, gonna go right past all his BS, and there is an intro. So yeah. Looks like a beautiful scene, right? Look at those mountains. Awesome. This guy looks like an asshole right from the start, doesn't he? His green tie and all that shit. Fuck him. Oh, bad stuff's about to happen. Bad stuff. See, he takes this as a fact, number one. This person who is analyzing the Wendy theory, this is a fact in this guy's mind. Whereas the only person who ever brought it up was Wendy. So maybe he didn't do anything. But you're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You're going to give Wendy the benefit of the doubt, right? All right. So you like to piss on men. That sounds good. Anyway, it's very possible that she made up the story, right? It's possible. It's not definitely not impossible. But she could have made that whole story up. And you're taking it as fact. You don't know. You didn't see the violence. You're taking it as fact, while other people aren't allowed to take other things by fact according to you. So anyway, he might not be an abuser. Just throwing it out there. Number one. Oh. I don't think he attempted to murder them. He just wanted to get some wood for the fire. This is the abuse basically scene, right? So this kid is Danny, right? He's in the bathroom and he's brushing his teeth, looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden he passes out and hits his head or whatever. So Wendy calls the doctors and is like, hey, what's wrong with my son? And she looks at him and says, I don't think there's anything really wrong here. But we'll talk a little bit more. So they go out in this other room, and this is where Wendy blames Jack for abusing the son. And in reality, like I said, we don't know. We only trust it because she's a girl, That's the only reason why we couldn't be girls. Girls could never abuse someone. Girls do abuse, by the way. Girls do horrible shit also. Can't just give them the benefit of the doubt all the time. She does look a little mentally ill. Like Danny later complains about friends. And he's like, there's no friends around here. Well, that's kind of her responsibility. Hey, you're sitting at home with the kid all day. Let's get outside and play. Let's go find, some other kids for him to hang around with. And if there's absolutely none, that sucks, right? At least you get outside with him during the hotel stuff. But still, it was almost like you didn't want him to leave your side, so we're not going to go find friends, which is a mental illness as well. Where's Jack abusing someone here? Okay, that might be supernatural, but where's the abuse? Everyone, what does that say? She's possibly schizophrenic. And look, every scene of Jack's abuses. I like some men to stand up for this comment, and I'd like some women to stand up for this comment. Where's the abuse here? I didn't see it. He barely moved. Certainly wasn't threatening her with violence. Maybe with words. This is true. This is a giant, like this part right here is a giant piece of people who analyze this movie. This is a giant piece, and this dude's gonna knock it off. Like, nope, didn't happen. So I look at the right here, right? This is where so he's basically talking about continuity errors and all this other stuff, furniture disappearing, other inconsistencies. But check this out. I mean, this is really hard to just go, oh, he didn't care. You know, he just threw this TV up and was like, hey, you know, Kubrick was like, hey, man, this is the place I'm going to leave it right about here, you know, for no reason, rhyme, whatever. But they do point out a pretty amazing thing. Where the hell's the cord? Yeah, you know, I mean, I highly doubt that's something that they're just going to be like, hey, just throw it there. We'll put this fake image in there. Nobody will know the difference. I mean, unless the cord is going back here to this, what is this thing? A window, giant window, right? You wouldn't see it because it was held tight. You know, maybe you know didn't have a lot of cord, so it's just straight across. Here too, that might be like a little piece of tape, but still, you don't see any wires going into there. This guy's gonna blow this shit off like it's nothing. Nope, no big deal. So, yeah, he's gonna like. So they're basically saying like this guy says this has no meaning right here, where he shoots this way and then shoots this way. Nope, no meaning. Just an error. Just an error. You just made an error. This guy's showing people his artwork. He's not making errors on it. Like, look, this whole thing is open right here. He's playing with his ball and shit, and then you see it again. I can't really see it from here, but it's closed. This little pentagon, hexagon, centagon, it's closed, but it's open here. So there's a little pathway right there. So anyway, the pathway is behind him now. This is behind him. It's pretty crazy. Like, this opening. It's pretty crazy how he did that. He just fucked around one day and said, I don't care. I just set it up whatever way you want. Just, yeah, see, there's the opening back there, right by his shoes. That is supposed to be on the other side. And you can't tell me this ain't bullshit. Look, opening, then you turn him around. Oops. Then you turn him around. And then opening in front, right? Opening in back. I'm sure he just, yeah, that was a mistake, right? No big deal. No big deal. No chair, you know? Nightstands. Whoa. I don't know why that just shut down. This is pretty wild. I mean, this is the people analyze the shit out of this, and there are a lot of continuity errors. Like, there's all kind of light switches and shit. So they go to enter this room, and if you go here and try to enter that room, all this crap that's in the wall, which is the same room, it's not there anymore. There's a piece here, but there's other pieces that aren't there anymore. They also talk about these knives, which are kind of like sitting above Danny's head, like he might get murdered, you know? So all that kind of crap. But there's all kinds of continuities, and people love that stuff. And this guy here, man, I'm just gonna blow through this guy here. He basically he boos everything. This is a pretty amazing thing, though. So, Catch from the Rye was the book that the person who murdered what's his name? What's his name? Person who murdered Lennon, the Beatles guy. Mark Harry Chapin, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, he's found after he shoots Lennon, he's found with this book in his back pocket. So it kind of ties into spooky, crazy, weird, this mentally disturbed. But the amazing part about it is that that incident happened 6 months after they showed this film. I think that's kind of significant. If you don't give a shit, right, about any of this stuff, you wouldn't care what book you gave her. It could just be an empty book with empty writing. Just a standard little old piece of paper, I guess, little tiny notebook. Why would you choose to throw something specific in there? And I think he chose that for a reason. Now, it's kind of weird. You can't necessarily predict when Lennon's going to be shot, but I think there's a tie between mental illness and this book. So I think Kubrick is tying that in. And if you ever read it, it is. It's a mental dude who goes around and just basically he doesn't fit in. He doesn't do anything right. He's just kind of like this wanderer. And in the end, though, it's a book about a guy that basically, I think he's in college, and he goes on, I think, winter break. And he sort of matures during that time, but he's also, the way he talks, the way he presents himself, there's a bunch of mental illness in here. And if you want to read the book, it's probably a good book to read because Kubrick read this fucking book. He knows what's inside of it, and he is showing this for a reason. Why? Just hand him a blank notebook. Oh no, let's do this because it's going to add to the flavor. And I think there's something here with mental illness, and I think there's something here with relating to that. And it's not like it's a bad thing, like, oh my God, she's mentally ill. It's not like something you should run away from. I think she does connect with this book, and I think Kubrick wanted it to be that way. And why was it in this guy's hand when he shot Lennox or Lennon? I don't know. I don't know why it was in his hand. Maybe he was mentally ill too, and that's something that he connected with, and he wanted it around him like a friend almost. Some of this stuff gets out of hand, though. Yeah, it's almost like, yeah, he has this little argument with Wendy, and he almost at the end of the argument he's like, "What the hell just happened?" So he's almost like the way he sees her mentally ill. So he doesn't feel like he did anything wrong right here. He wasn't yelling at her. He was just like confused. And that chair is gone. There's supposed to be a chair in the background, and it disappears. And people are like, "Ooh, look at that! Maybe it has a meaning, maybe not. I don't know." But we've already seen a couple different inferences where they've suspected Wendy of having some type of mental illness, and it might be even through abuse or through the cycles of life since the beginning of time. But and we just look at it as a mental illness. Who knows? But that's kind of, I think, what he's trying to show here. Yeah, she's a little unstable at times. Yeah, that those things aren't there that were on the wall before. Why? Why would he do that? And then, of course, at the end, this part really pisses me off, though. This is where I start losing it. Kubrick made a lot of movies, obviously, and there's all kinds of, I wouldn't say necessarily continuity errors, but little things that don't translate to the next scene. Um, Little stuff, though, like having two pillows or one pillow, just basic shit. And huh, hmm, huh, cool. Yeah, that's another one too. So when she got shot in the last scene, she was covered, and her face got covered in blood. But right here, all that blood's gone. And there's a cinematic reason for that. You do want to see a person's face. Like what he's trying to show is, holy shit, look at this is what death looks like. And he's not going to try to obscure it with something covering this area. He wants to show it clearly. And you can tell it's a girl. You can tell it's a young girl. You could tell that there's almost horror on her face. It's almost like she's slipping into darkness. And if you muddied it all up with blood, like it was a slasher film, you wouldn't get the same response. He's showing this for purpose, and you guys don't. This guy definitely doesn't give a shit. Just continuity. It's a coincidence. Nothing big here. Who's smoking the pipe, yo? I loved it. What else does he talk about here? There's a spot that really pisses me off. What's this? Well, this thing. I can't keep up with it right now. And it's true. There are two. You know, the thing burnt down. His set, I think, in England burnt down, and they had to rebuild it and still shoot scenes. Imagine having to try to rebuild it and make everything exactly the way it was. I'm sure there could be some errors, but I also know there's some that are not errors. What else we got through here? The office, the snow. What else we got? This is amazing too, but I'm not going to get into it. There's some stuff that's missing, like there, the chair. Spooky ghosts and skeletons, right? Not really much supernatural stuff going on, but she sees a couple hallucinations herself. She sees that dog and the man having sex. And let's see here. Where are we at? What's this now? Yeah, there's the Catcher in the Rye. She's reading. That's the guy who murdered Lennon, who had it in his back pocket. Probably whatever they want to call it. Mentally ill. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Because she is. It's hinted that she is. That's why they have all this stuff like this. It's hinted that it is. He's not going to just drive your face into it. I mean, he wants to show you shit. This is the amazing part about Kubrick. He wants to show you stuff, but he can't just put it right in front of your face. You kind of have to have this uneasy feeling, like, what am I supposed to look at here? And as you look through the scenarios, you open up new parts of the story. It's pretty awesome, and I think people should enjoy it as opposed to destroying it. Yeah, these are Wendy's hallucinations. Who cares? I'll get back to Wendy in a minute. We know she's mentally ill. She was reading a book that somebody else was reading later on. Everybody knows that book is about mental illness, and if you haven't read it, you might want to go read it. So yeah, it does point to her. Oh my God, they're going to talk about this. This is the part that really threw me off. These cans right here, the Kool-Aid cans, and he's going to say, well. A lot of people say, look at all the Kool-Aid cans here, and then they're going to shoot back to the apartment and show the Kool-Aid cans about right here, but on top of a refrigerator. And they're going to say, well, if he really wanted to show it off, he would have made it exactly the way it was. Without thinking that he's probably trying to tell a story, and he's got to leave it the way it is. Perfect. Yeah, Wendy stores her Kool-Aid. Look. How much of a difference is that really? He's saying that there can't be any possibility. There can't, he's saying there's no possibility of this being significant compared to the last scene. No possibility. Couldn't happen. And here's why he's going to say. Let's see where we are. I might be right. Yep, there's the cans, right? And there's the cans. Wow. Without putting it in front of your face, that's awesome. He just threw that up there, and that's peripheral. So you're not going to look right at it. You're not going to get the message right away. You're not going to drink the Kool-Aid, but you're going to see it if you look at it, and later on. So he didn't have to put Kool-Aid up there at all. He could have put anything fucking up there. He could have put a fucking teapot. Who the fuck knows? And it is about head height, which is where it is in the other scene. Look. On top of the fridge, not in a storeroom or pantry. He's saying if you want to do this, if you want to make this a scene that has continuity with another scene, The scene, her, would have to be in a storeroom with the Kool-Aid there. Why? Well, no, that's not close enough for me. That's not good enough. I want to take it a step further. If I want to show continuity between scenes, I'm going to have Wendy washing dishes with the Kool-Aid up here and this refrigerator, and then I'm going to cut back to that scene later. And look, hey, it's continuity. She's at the sink. She's at her old apartment. She's doing the same exact thing she was doing before. Oh my God, there's the Kool-Aid too. So you would just cut this whole scene out and just have her multiply doing this action 1,000 times in the same exact place at the same exact time. That's not the way you fucking throw visuals up at the board. You can't like hand them the gift. If this was continuity, I would say that's just retarded. It's going to be like a techno song where it's just the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. She wouldn't leave this apartment. If it was the way you wanted it, she wouldn't leave this apartment. It has to be this way to have continuity. Bullshit. Look at the yellow. Look at the yellow. I mean, there's stuff that combines here. You got a little bit of orange, a little bit of green. Green. What am I talking about here, guys? Huh? Oh, look, fucking Kool-Aid. Right about yonder. There's Kool-Aid. Hey, let's just throw a bunch of random shit out here because that's what everybody does. These might have been added in later. I don't know how good they were at splicing up film. I can imagine they were pretty good at it. That almost looks like dog biscuits. Another reference to the dog. And that would be, I don't know what that is. It looks like a flower or plant. Maybe, what else is up here? And that might not even be 2 cans of Kool-Aid. That might be like 1 Kool-Aid and who the fuck knows, off-brand. And look at that. I don't think that's much different. And you can't give people easy answers. And he didn't want it to be that way. He wanted it to be peripheral. I know. It's hard to imagine. I'm so sorry, man. This is a horrible review. Wendy, yeah, that's a good one. Wendy is projecting her own kitchen into the overlook, which, to be honest with you, it's kind of close. Why isn't the placement of the Kool-Aid in the exact place? It has to be in the perfect exact place. So that means you have to just shoot the kitchen scene over and over and over again. Instead of her in here with hollering, doing, talking about this place, she'd be here. I know you understand that. You can't show this scene and say there's no continuity here when it's very fucking close. And if it's not very fucking close and you want continuity, you want this to be consistent. It has to be on a refrigerator at this height in this room. Well, fuck away. It's a hallucination. Things aren't always perfect in hallucinations. It's like a dream. You can't always remember everything. So it should be off a little bit. Kool-Aid, don't drink it. Don't drink that Kool-Aid. Again, Wendy theory. What's the evidence where it falls apart? Is basically saying all these claims don't mean shit. So that's how he reasons it out. Oh, okay. So he's saying the Wendy theory. This has to be a hallucination. Again, why are you the dictator of hallucinations? Why are you? No, it can't be that way because I said so. Of course it can. But I think in a way he may have reversed like this guy's magic power. Remember in the other show or the Doctor Sleep, he has to go up to this chalkboard and he has to write something on this chalkboard, and it kind of makes the ghosts like go fucking haywire, right? Well, by writing this here, he might be reversing this sort of curse, this sort of hallucinogenic curse that she's in. So by writing this, he might reverse these things, and the bad stuff is now going to go to his father. You know what I'm saying? He's going to get deranged and die in the fucking snow. So if he didn't reverse it, these guys might have died. But I think this has meaning, and I don't know why you wouldn't see it, but oh well. Basically, she's no longer mentally ill after this, and Jack is. Scene. Extension. I don't get it. I don't know what he's saying here. Ooh, look at this. Navarro misreads a lot of the film's imagery and dialogue. Who the hell made you king? What the crap? Unless you're freaking Kubrick himself, you have no idea what it's supposed to be. So the same thing goes back to you. You misread the film's fucking imagery and dialogue, asshole. Fuck. I don't even. You're so smart. Yeah, this shot was the key for unlocking. Oh. He told his wife to get the F out. It does absolutely look like an angry man now. Annoying. So tell me why that wouldn't be evidence. Like his face was like, everything's good, buddy. Look at that. He's looking at Wendy walking away. Does that look like a face of like, that bitch made me mad? It sort of looks like a face like, what the hell just happened? Like, look, wow. Yeah. Oh, well, let's get back to work, I guess. That's not that he's unconcerned about her, but it was kind of a weird incident, maybe. Maybe she did freaking come to him and hallucinate. And then he was like, well, whatever that was, I'm going to get back to writing. I think that's normal. Wait, what? I don't get that. I don't get what you said at all here. I can't even debunk this one because I don't know what you're trying to say. Oh, okay. So this is where he shows us the proof of mental illness. Well, you can't take away that face. You can't say maybe something wasn't like that, and you can't take the catcher in the rye, and you can't take the Kool-Aid and throw it all on the ground and say nope, they just don't work. Well, maybe you should look differently. I mean, there's a possibility that that is exactly what was going on. A good possibility too. And you didn't see what's his name? You didn't see Danny getting abused, did you? But you still claim that Jack did it. I hope you feel shitty about yourself because that's fucking awful. Hope you take it up the ass for that shit. Here, oh Jesus, I shouldn't have clicked that. I'm gonna go back to whatever I just did. That's kind of dumb. Oh shit, still wants the job. Of course not. He's gonna murder his family. Oh, look, little more evidence we get to fucking ignore. Let's ignore this evidence, guys. No, this is not the right book to read. She's smoking in front of the kid. Oh my god. I'm all smoked. It didn't matter. Again, so yeah, he's like, what the hell just happened? And if you have the Kool-Aid, you have the Wendy, you have the hallucinations of the Kool-Aid, and you have Wendy maybe acting weird, and you have her right now having a weird experience. You didn't necessarily see the truth. You don't necessarily know what the truth is in this movie. This has so many mazes and pathways and twists and turns. Everything is suspect. So you heard him say, get the F out, Wendy. Well, maybe she hallucinated that. I mean, come on. That's not an impossibility. But if she didn't, he's still left with this face. And you can't throw that face away. You can't say, oh, that's no more evidence. He's just an asshole. No, you got to look at all of it. That face says, that was weird. I don't know why she was acting like that. That's exactly what that face is. I don't see any guilt or anger on that face. He looks kind of concerned. So don't throw out the other imagery and just say, oh no, he not only, I didn't see the abuse, but that guarantees that he's an abuser. Not only do I not see the mental illness and I see something in reverse, that means that there's no mental illness. Come on, man. I'm getting bored of this shit. Get the F out. To this guy, this is anger. Have you ever seen anger? Oh my god, that's not a fucking anger. That is definitely not anger. He starts typing. Do you start typing while you're angry? Wouldn't be fun. Several moments. Yeah, just throw in there. Just spike the T. Oh, really? Huh. Look at that guy. I would say because of that, I mean, obviously, if you take every single thing in the movie The Shining and make it your own, it'll obviously be whatever it is. There's different ways to look at these stories, though. This might have been the red rum scene when he was, hey, let's reverse the mental illness so that he then goes into the maze and can't find his way back out and dies. put at a level where he is deranged from that. But you know that matters. You know that red rum matters. You have to write something for the other ghosts to get them through something. You got to think about that. I mean, you can't just throw other things away. Just because you don't want your theory broken doesn't mean this guy, whoever put this together, it's pretty, like, holy shit. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Who cares? What is this? Uh, you just simply don't know that. There is a lot of, I think, I'm getting like real jittery about this, but there was a guy who showed on a projector at a movie theater the entire movie starting from the beginning to the end. He also simultaneously started the movie on a nearby projector, so they projected both images on the screen, and he started the other movie at the end of the movie. So you have the beginning of the movie playing, and also on top of that is the end of the movie, and they sort of go in towards each other as it goes along. So you're getting basically the beginning of the movie is moving towards the hotel, and then it's moving towards the snow, and the end of the movie is moving away from the snow and into breakfast, or the meeting with the bosses at the place. But he does these really long overlays where things just kind of blend in together, and if you read the story from front to back and back to front at the same time, it makes some amazing pictures. You got to check it out. It's freaking cool. I don't know if there's a depth to it, part of the story, I don't know, but there's some pretty awesome imagery. Don't buy it. I'm not selling it. All those dissolves, yeah. You know what? I don't know if you ever played with iMovie. I do dissolves in that thing all the time, and I'm not even trying to necessarily pinpoint them. But when I watch it back and I see it, I'm like, holy shit! Look, there's something there. I didn't even try to do that with a really long overlay. But there's other times where I do. I absolutely splice it at a perfect place so that it combines the two images together. And I guess Kubrick couldn't do that, right? He would never be able to do that. Come on, man. Play with iMovie. You'll see it. Whatever. That's a hallucination. You can't take that at. Let's see what he has to say here, because I'm getting confused. It's beneficial that the theory is predicated on some scenes being hallucinations, as it allows Navarro, I guess this is the other author, to dismiss scenes which refute his theory. Dude, you just dismissed scenes that aided his theory. So what the hell's the difference? I am it. He never said that, not once. He never said he was an abusive father who physically attacked his son. He never said that once. You can't even pinpoint where he does say it. I bet you're. I can't imagine what generation you're from. Being tough on kids was a real thing back in the day. It was a real thing. Even go back even further, and teachers could slap your knuckles with a ruler. That was encouraged to provide discipline. A teacher coming at you ready to hit you in these day and age? It's a different time. I know you don't care. It was a different time. You got to realize that your theory breaks down, or his theory is propped up, because this is a different day and age that you can't see from that lens. I don't know why. I mean, it's not that difficult. But people, especially men, were extremely tough on their children so that they grew up disciplined. Today, a lot of people would call that, what is that, abuse. You should go watch The Goodfellas. The Goodfellas. This kid's skipping school every day, and a letter comes home in the mail. What does his dad do? Beats him with a belt. That was normal, okay? He literally he he grabbed his son, or at least this is the story. You don't ever get to see this. His son had knocked over a bunch of his papers for work, and they all got messed up. So he grabbed him, kind of, forcefully, and pulled him off of the papers and kind of behind, so away from the papers. As he did that, his shoulder popped out. The kid's shoulder popped out. There was no intention to hurt the kid at that point. But you were tough on kids back in the day. And if you can't see it from that lens, I can't accept anything that you're saying here. He doesn't admit to being an abusive father because back in the day, that wasn't abuse. To pick up your child off the ground really abruptly, not a freaking abuse. We have different rules these days, though, don't we? I mean, come on, you guys get away with every fucking thing. But it did make for tougher people, more disciplined people, and also potentially more physically violent people. And that's where I think some of this has turned away from. The only problem I see with it is a good civilization needs their men, and we have emasculated men. We put them in fucking high heels, and we suck the testosterone out of them every day. And we're going to have a very weak country one day because it won't be male strong. It'll be a bunch of females, which is a different power. And believe me, girls in power, they can abuse it too. So you got to take it both ways. It's a real thing. That's a hallucination. Who said that's a hallucination? He never said those words, so I don't even know what you're talking about. You're the hallucinating one. Dick. Grady. Great. It's all very convenient. He's talking out of his eye. Hey. Confront him. I can't wait to look at this one. Holy shit. It's... okay, that's kind of interesting. I kind of like that, too. The Wendy theory states that nothing paranormal happened. Nothing supernatural. No ghost, no nothing. Because she hallucinated the whole thing. And you can't take that away from this guy. If you watch it from that perspective, you'll see a whole new film. And it's kind of cool. It's not as miserable as just not. He didn't do it. But still, seriously, that's pretty amazing. Because he doesn't explain the supernatural ever. Not in this movie, he doesn't. I got it. Whoa, look at that. Wait, what? What do you got? Look at that. Oh shit, this guy's gonna get knocked out. CIA man. Interpretation is an interpretation. Right. Peter died. Oh no. Why does it have to be? You're forcing these things onto other movies. You're projecting them that way. You don't know if Kubrick intended to do what he intended, but you can't compare it to Spider-Man. I mean, what the fuck? Oh my God, Spider-Man isn't real because it was all a hallucination. No, whatever. So was what was that? 2001: Space Odyssey. It's all just a dream. Did you see what he said there? This is retarded too. Using the same lens as fiction as you would in real life, if you compared those events, it would be inherently faulty. Because one's more fictional and fantasy, one's more realistic. So that's a fault right there. You can't look at it from which perspective are you supposed to look at it from? I think in the beginning it's pretty obvious. You're supposed to look at it from a more real sense. And as the movie progresses, it sort of turns into a more fantasy event. But it transitions you. You don't just jump on board and say, I'm in real land now. And a lot of the beginning of the movie is very realistic. All the footsteps and the different things they're showing them around the place, and Danny and throwing the darts and all this other stuff. He's establishing a world that is based, for the most part, in a reality, I guess. And I think you even said that at the beginning. All these continuity errors, that's not possible. That was just real. It wasn't an error. It was just real. Okay. Well, it again, real life. Would she really be holding this bat? What else could she be doing? How about when they're chopping through the door? What could she be doing? And then if it's all fantasy, why the fuck do I give a shit? These people aren't. These people are part of that fantasy. They don't even exist in a fantasy. So why do I give a shit? Why would I put them in real life? Of course not. This is Fantasyland. I don't give a shit about them. If it's real life, it starts that way. There's a reason for that, and that even kind of ends that way in a way. This is not a pipe, and you are not a good reviewer. Don't cry. You'll try to get me kicked off YouTube. That's what kids do these days. They don't fucking confront anyone. They basically try to sabotage you. You ever heard Opie and Anthony? There's this dude named Anthony, and he gets hundreds of thousands of people to go be his minions because they love this guy so much. I was like, wow. Now, how did he get in trouble? A confrontation, real life confrontation, and he got kicked out of his thing. No, a punch, not drama, punch, real life. Got it? Not like some bullshit. And if it is a fantasy, you definitely don't know everything about that fantasy. No deep. You know, details are kind of important. You know, don't focus on the details. And that's exactly what Kubrick expects. Don't focus on the details, but they're there. And you're not even going to catch them all the time, but your mind saw it. You don't know it, but your mind saw it. So yeah, peripherals are big with Kubrick, if you didn't know that, and details important. He spent months gathering information on this freaking hotel and the place in Colorado. Months he had people up there. He didn't go investigate it himself. He was kind of scared, but he had his own crews go out there for months and figure out the Indians and who was affected this way, study the railroads, study the hotel. I mean, that's detail, dude. You don't send somebody out there to try to get all this information if you're not going to be detailed. Everything down to the curtains is detailed. It is a pretzel. So is life. Defend abusers. First of all, you don't know. You have no idea if Jack was a fucking abuser or not. You don't know. As a matter of fact, I would say he can't be an abuser because he's a work of fiction. Fiction isn't the same as real life, so therefore, if he fictionally abused her, okay. But that means he didn't really abuse her. So let's get back to the fiction again. Oh, God. It's all over the place. You just want attention. Okay. I like attention, but not from weird people. Cinema from around the world. Oh, yeah. Oh, movie. Not close enough. Not close enough. You know what? If that's in your video, I'd definitely throw it up there. Yep. He's too afraid to do it because he'll lose it. He's got a camera and a mirror. Oh my gosh. What do you think about it? No. Huh. Anyway, I hope you liked it.